Welcome to All Access. We are looking at the theme of real estate. And I want to know, Jaja, what tips would you have for somebody who's looking to get into construction? Whether that's, large scale or, small scale, or even their own home. What tips would you have for them?
Thanks, Rina. One thing I'd put in mind is location. Location matters. You do not want to build your house or apartments in the outskirts. Then nobody will come and buy them, or nobody will come and rent them. People will be scared to go home at night. So location is key. Somewhere accessible to the road, to the schools, to hospitals, to supermarkets, that matters. Then number two, when going into construction, depends a lot on your budget. Are you financing yourself? Is it self-financing, or are you taking up a mortgage with a bank? If you're taking up a mortgage with a bank, a facility with a bank, then that means you're okay to do it, so you don't have any issues. In case you can't afford to and you still want to construct, you still can. You can phase out your project. You don't have to finish it up in 1 year or in 2 years. You start small. So say, for example, you're doing an apartment complex, you can do the foundation first, and then you do the first phase, second phase, all depending on your income. So as you get money, go back and do it. You don't have to do it all at once. So if you can't afford to take up a facility with a bank, you can do it. You can self-finance your project.
Self-finance it?
Yes.
So without taking a loan?
Yes.
I'd like to hear this.
Yes, so you don't have to take a loan, you self-finance it. You definitely need a big chunk of money up front. You'd have to have done some saving before you go into it. Now,
like what percentage of the cost of the property?
Honestly, Rina, it totally depends with your budget.
Okay,
it's not
actually,
cast
I've just
on
remembered
stone.
something. A different contractor had told me, if you can save at least enough to be able to do the foundation,
yes,
then you're good to start.
Yes, and that's what I was going to tell you. You can start off with that. So you get your architect to draw for you. It's important for him to know what you're doing and how you're doing it, so he can phase it for you, and also your quantity surveyor will then come in and guide you accordingly. So he'll let you know that you could do the foundation first, and then it will be costed for you. You can do the first floor, and then it's costed for you, the third floor, and so on. And that way you're more flexible. You don't have to feel squeezed, You can do it according to your cash flow. Yes.
And so with a project manager, can you get into an arrangement that, we'll finish here and then take a pause and then come back and finish?
Yes, you could also do that. You could also do that when trying to save up on costs, whereby you have your team of consultants, and okay. The issue with this is not really an issue, but the challenge would be you cannot have a team full-time, yet you're phasing your project. Yeah. So you then have to now talk to them individually and come up with a way that they'll work with you according to the stages.
Okay.
So you have your project manager, or you have your full team, let them know they're doing in stages. When you do this stage, you finish, you close shop, you get some more money, you go on to the second stage.
Okay.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What about inside now when you come to the finishing of a house? I noticed that, in particular with you kind of went an extra step that I've not quite seen very common with regard to providing provisions for water heaters. You have solar. Well, I guess that's now law.
It's now law.
Yeah, but in terms of even the choice of wood, the choice of your tiling and things like that. How do you, even within your budget as a contractor or somebody building, what tips would you give for somebody to provide quality, but at the same time not bust their budget or go beyond what they can afford?
Okay, first you have to remain competitive. Yeah. Because if you want to sell, you cannot compromise. I cannot go for cheap stuff because that's what I can afford, and then end up having a whole project that nobody wants to buy. So you have to remain competitive and keep up with the times, and hence the provisions for everything. You mentioned solar. Solar is now law. Yeah, so you have to put solar. And I'm sure other things in the future will now be mandatory to put. But one tip I would give is shop around. Number one, shop around is key, because you'll find very many people offering the same thing at different prices. So shopping around helps. And then for the finishings, for example, like here at Dahlia Gardens, I bought my finishings when there was a sale. Yeah, so Sag Ceramics, Styling Carpets, and other companies had sales.
Yeah.
So I chose that opportunity to buy all my finishings.
So it is possible to buy things locally and get them at a good rate.
Yes.
Because most people, I mean, the perception I have is you have to go to China.
No, you don't have to go to China. Well, going to China is not bad, but you don't have to go to China. Going to China can also work against you, because you could go to China, get all your finishings, and then you realize that there's a problem with them. You know, you won't get to test them. For example, the sanitary ware. You get all your toilets for the whole block from China, and when they're fitted, you realize, okay, these toilets are not working.
Wow.
So that's a loss,
Yeah.
you know. And even if you're going to return them back to China and get more, that's still time
Additional
wasted,
cost and time.
additional cost. Yeah. So I'd advise a developer to locally get their materials. Right now, we have so many people bringing in materials, so many people who are supplying. So it's more affordable than it was back in the day.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Those are great tips, guys. If any of you is looking to construct, whether that's a small unit, a larger unit out there somewhere, those are great tips that you can use. If you find somebody, or if I find someone who has questions, or someone writes to me and I'm not able to answer, I'd rather actually give your contact. So if you don't mind, if somebody has a question or just wants to come see the houses for themselves, how should they get in touch with you?
Okay, you can call me or WhatsApp me on 0790-469-990, or you could email me on sales@dahliagardens.co.ke.
Okay, thank you so much, Jaja.
You're welcome.
If you have any questions, by the way, please put them on my comment section. If you have any interesting things that you want me to be aware about, do that as well. And I'm sure Jaja will be available to answer any questions that you may have. God bless you guys and stay well. Subscribe if you haven't. You are watching All Access.